Welcome to the Eric Avasar Show. College basketball is right around the corner, and in this upcoming season, there are clearly no great dominant teams. And in a year like this, where it's so wide open and it's anyone's guess who will win the national championship, I love this year's Seton Hall team. The Pirates return 85% of their minutes played last season. Kevin Willard is one of the best coaches in college basketball. He came back after being tempted by Virginia Tech. And most of all, Myles Powell, the best player in college basketball. In my eyes, there are three college basketball players who stand above the rest this season. Cassius Winston, the point guard at Michigan State, Marcus Howard, last year's Big East Player of the Year. But make no mistake, Myles Powell has something that nobody else in college basketball has. When you watch him, he has that it factor, that gritty intensity, that toughness, the ability to take over any game against anyone. He averaged nearly 25 points a game last season. He can score in virtually every way imaginable. Fantastic spot-up three-point shooter. So tough when it comes to getting to the basket. And in my opinion, the best player in college basketball, coincidentally, happens to be the toughest. No one brings more to the table in college basketball than Myles Powell. Offensively and defensively, the total package. He is just such an incredible tour de force virtuoso of a ball player, and he is going to be an absolute joy to watch this season. I am personally so happy that he decided to pull out of the NBA draft because it makes the entire college basketball landscape, of course, particularly in the Big East, more exciting. It's absolutely absurd to think that Villanova is going to win the Big East when their best players who are returning are Saddiq Bey and Colin Booth. I mean, come on. They do have great freshmen coming in, but Seton Hall has the talent and the experience. Pairing with Myles Powell in the backcourt, Quincy McKnight, Sacred Heart transfer who proved that he can score last season, but he is more than anything an elite defender. And he's going to share the ball handling duties with Myles Powell, which is a win-win because both will have the energy and focus necessary to be elite performers on the defensive end. They're going to force so many steals, and they're going to be a lot of shots swatted in the Prudential Center. Sandro Mamukelashvili is the most underrated big man in college basketball and the best big man in the Big East. He is going to average a double-double this season, so skilled at finishing around the basket and just an incredible rebounder. Love the way he approaches the game. He is relentless. And Ike Obiagu, the Florida State transfer, 7'1", 250 pounds, the type of towering big man presence that Kevin Willard has never had at Seton Hall. And he is going to make sure that the Pirates never get dominated in the paint like they were last season. With guys like Taurean Thompson and Romaro Gill, they're going to have options when it comes to interior players off the bench to boot. Now, the other Myles Cale, he averaged double-figure scoring last season and sunk the game winner in overtime against Kentucky last season. That was one of the best games of college basketball played, and it was at Madison Square Garden. That really served as a launching pad for Myles Cale. He has what it takes to be another all-Big East performer this season. I love his chances of taking a huge step forward. And another breakout candidate is Jared Rhoden coming off the bench. You know, he might end up being the Hall's big-time sixth man, but Shavar Reynolds can give quality minutes as well. This is such a stacked, dynamic team that is really just primed to make an incredible run that has never been seen in the Kevin Willard era because Seton Hall has never made it out of the first weekend of March Madness. So from a historical perspective, I totally understand the hesitancy to buy in on this Seton Hall team. But like I said, when this is a year in college basketball and there is no truly great team, I like to look at who the truly elite players are. And Myles Powell stands alone. He can take over any game against anyone, and he can absolutely carry this team, if necessary, all the way, because he is that incredible of a basketball player. It just so happens that he has a great supporting cast around him. Thank you so much for tuning in, and please subscribe to my channel.